This is the men's room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
You're listening to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Say hello to our friends in beautiful sunny San Diego, 97.3 The Machine, San Diego Talk That Rocks. Also, we've got some listeners jumping on now at 98 Rock in Sacramento, California, at California's Rock Station, and all the way up in Anchorage, Alaska. Good morning, Alaska, 94.7 KZND. That would be Alaska's Rock Alternative. Big show for you today. Bad jokes on the way. Ted versus the FCC. Profile this, and we're going to talk a little bit today about creepy people. And speaking of that, there was we were talking about this in the office, and I don't really even think we thought about where the conversation was going to end up going today, but we got a bunch of stories, and there was a weird story going back again to the adult sex doll, and there was some correlation of serial killers.
Yeah, I guess the way they phrase it's a bit misleading, but essentially the way they phrase the article was like, if people that have relationships / sex with sex dolls, are they more likely to be serial killers? All right. So in other words, kind of like they would say marijuana is the gateway drug, like is a sex doll the gateway to becoming a serial killer? Well, no.
And they had a couple instances where it was Dahmer and some
But what
guys.
they realized was simply this was people that have proclivity to be serial killers are much more likely to go buy sex dolls because obviously their interpersonal skills are not so great.
Okay.
You
So it's
follow what
more
I'm
about
saying?
just
So,
the
right.
idea of...
So someone like Jeffrey Dahmer, he's not so dumb that he didn't know that he's not good in people situations, right?
Okay.
But with the sex doll, there's nothing you can do to it. Whatever your fantasy is, it's there for you. So it's not that having a sex doll makes you a serial killer, because if it does, I have bad news.
You can say the same thing about Asperger's in a weird kind of way.
What do you
mean? Just drawing a correlation.
Right.
Not
Don't say they had Asperger's
or something.
right, you name it.
Yeah. When did you realize you were dealing with a creepy individual? 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Wes. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So that story earlier kind of jarred something loose. I mean, this guy isn't even the creepiest dude that I knew at college, but we had some dude in our dorm that had used diapers, but that wasn't even the creepiest. It was
wait. Where did they get these diapers from? Were they taking them out of the trash, or did they soil them themselves?
I'm thinking he soiled them himself and then left them in his closet, and he got kicked out of the dorms for it.
Yeah, that'll work 100% of the time.
I don't even think there's a question. I think, like, man, this is.
But so
you're telling me you met someone worse than this guy.
I'm the hall monitor. You can't even. I'm sorry. You just really need to pack up your stuff and get the hell out of here right now.
There's no
you really do.
conversation.
Like, this is not okay.
No, and that's not even the creepiest. I was way more uncomfortable. So you guys know when you go get a tattoo, you are investing some time in a chair, and you're going to be there.
Right.
And, so I'm getting a tattoo from this dude I thought I knew well, and we went to punk rock shows together, and he starts playing music, kind of, we're just chilling, and it's a half sleeve, so it's going to take a minute, and this song comes on, and it goes, da-da-da-da-da, Vampire of the Nation, and I'm like, what is the Vampire of the Nation? And so I posed the question, what's the Vampire of the Nation, man? And he goes, just deadpan, like right in my eyes, and he goes, the Jews.
The Jews?
Like, okay, man.
Right
oh, God.
Boy.
Here we go.
How deep into the tattoo
worse.
are you at this point? Has he just started?
It gets worse. So I start sweating, and he's like, you all right? And I'm like, I'm good, man. Just like, let's get this tattoo.
You okay, Barry Weinstein?
Right.
Yeah. So I'm still sitting in the chair, and the next song comes on, and it's like, if you're hanging out with N-words, we will find you and kill you.
Oh, wow. I need this guy's number.
I wonder how far that went up the charts. Probably like number 8 in the.
I think it's probably. I'm Casey. Number 11,997.
Oh, he's a tattoo artist and really loves this vampire cult band.
I mean, I guess I should have known with the tiki torch in the corner of the room, But
oh no, he didn't have a tiki.
No, I'm just joking, man. But it was. Dude,
remember when tiki used to be for good times on the beach, man?
Polynesians just sitting there like, what the hell?
How did that happen?
Right.
I was offering you some pins to the ground.
I'll tell you how it happened. Lowe's.
Right.
Well, and then he's like, "Do you want to come back for the coloring?" And I'm like, "Nah, bro, just."
I don't like color.
Yeah,
that's what you should have told him.
Never. Did he? I'm hoping.
I don't like colors, man. Well, I just want my white ass flesh showing, bro.
Obviously, you don't want to be around this guy too much, but hopefully, at least the work he did, at least you know that you had a neo-Nazi tattoo. That's got to make him feel good. But was the work decent?
Yeah, the work was decent. Yeah, it's just like I looked down at it, and it was for my mother because she had breast cancer, and there's a little bit of pink shading in there for her. And I was like, and I looked at it, and I love the tattoo, but I'm always like, yeah, I got it from a dude that joined the AB when he was in prison. So
see, dude, awesome. This is how life treats you. This is what life does. You are going to honor your mother and get a tattoo for breast cancer, which is one of the more tremendous things you can do, right? But of course, it had to be done by a neo-Nazi. That's just how life shakes out.
We many years ago, man, we were in Baltimore on the air there, and there was email that came in, and it was dealing with a KKK rally that was going to happen up in Pennsylvania. And so they were going to have a parade, or they were going to do whatever they do, and then there was going to be like a fair afterwards. Yeah, right, exactly.
Miles pretends he doesn't know because I'm sitting here.
I don't know how many corn dogs stand in funnel cake places and things will be there, but I can tell you we're going to have a good time. But anyway, so we go, all right, so we decided that we were going to actually interview the Grand Wizard of the KKK. And the idea being that we were just going to ask him, like, what do you have there for kids? What do you have for the family? You know what I mean? Like,
you have a moon bounce.
Right, like what's going on?
Face painting.
Is this going to be a good time, or what do you got? But we didn't tell him that, obviously, that Steve is black. But Steve's going to do the interview, so Steve he's just rolling with it. Like, all these things. And what we found out at the end was they didn't hate black people.
No.
And this was amazing.
They don't like us.
No, not really.
They don't like us.
Not at all.
But we're not.
They're not the target.
Right. We're not the main issue.
We learned in this 20-minute segment that they just really don't like Jewish people.
Period.
I mean, and
the guy was clear about that. He's like, look, we don't like black people. It's like, so let's not forget that.
But it was not just, we didn't see that coming that way. Like, it didn't, that's not what we thought was going to happen.
Not at all.
We knew there was going to be hate.
He brought the hate. It just wasn't a group that we thought. The beauty was, I did the whole thing like I was some country boy. Talk to him the whole time like this. Sometimes we break for our sponsor.
You gonna have a moon bounce or what, man?
And he's like, no, we will not have a moon bounce.
But he was like, that's a good idea. I was like, is there going to be ice cream for the kids?
Like, oh, no, you can bring your kids down.
He's like, we will have
I will say this. Miles do the interview.
I will say, no. Just like they did and talk to a black dude.
Yeah, exactly.
I had no idea.
Right.
But I will tell you this, and I have to give them credit on one thing. If that's the way your family leaves, apparently it's a very family-friendly environment. I mean, he was like, oh, no, bring the kids. Absolutely. We don't have the moon bounce or the face painting, but we have stuff for them, too. I'm like, aren't you kind?
My daughter has, she has a necklace that has the Star of David on it.
All right.
And she wears it occasionally. And there was one particular instance when we went back to West Virginia, and I knew where we were going. We're kind of going back to see where my mom and my grandmother live.
Yeah. Which you were showing us earlier today is a wonderful place.
It's a lovely place. But we get to Charleston, West Virginia, and I look over, and she's sitting there, and we're going to go into the mall. We're going to go to Chick-fil-A. And I'm like, you know what, man? I hate to do this, man. You should probably take that off.
Right.
She's like, oh, Dad. I'm like, all right.
Suit yourself.
Okay.
How did it go?
She got looked at.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know what you're doing here.
Oh, I'm going to spit in your chicken. When did you realize that you were dealing with a creepy individual? 844-999-OLA.
Well, let that be a lesson.
Vacation, West Virginia.
Hello, Kayla. Welcome to the men's room.
Sorry. Hi.
Hello. Hola.
Hola, sorry. I knew I was dealing with a creep when I worked at customer service. I take calls over the phone. They were calling in to me to get service set up. They were local and kept saying things like, ooh, I hope you're having a pleasurable morning. And they wondered what kind of services I had for them.
What do you mean services? Like, what do you mean what your company had as far as services are concerned?
Yeah, I work for a communications company, so like phone, internet, but that's not what he was going for. That's
you could tell he was on the sexual innuendo tip.
It was, yeah, very much so. And you could just kind of hear like a rhythmic thing, and I was like, oh, no. I was trying to get into another phone number, and I'm like, grab a pen. He's like, I'm almost there.
Oh,
like,
no. You know what?
Okay, wait a minute. This dude masturbated while talking to you on the phone?
Yeah.
Don't you think on some... Listen, and I know it's not what you wanted in your day, but to be fair... You have such a thankless job. I mean, aren't you glad to know that just doing what you do, just talking customer service can make someone that happy?
I got to ask, did you call him or did he call you?
He called me.
Okay,
so he knew he was getting into this.
All right, that's what I was going to say. If he called you, then for sure he was doing that. If you called him, there's a really good chance, because sometimes, like even when I call the services for the company here, they'll say, like, do you realize, and this is like after the 9th time I try to get something canceled, like, you are on a recorded line, sir. And I'm like, just give me a second then while I take my pants off.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, just so like there's this awkward
speed
pause.
things up.
Right, exactly.
So
yeah, I've had people flush the toilet. I've had people get in couple fights. You know, I've had people tell me their life
yeah, but
stories.
to masturbate, like, what kind of things are you even saying that you know what I mean? Because I imagine the customer service call for this, like, yeah, we can bundle your internet and phone. Like, oh yeah,
like I'm
significant other and close friends, flush acceptable. Are we all in agreement?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. All right.
So like I was asking his address, and he's like, "Oh yeah, like, are you close?" You know, it's like it's things like that, or
can
like,
you just
okay, well,
hang
what
up?
are you looking for today?
Yeah.
Can you just hang up, or like would the boss be mad that you hung up on a potential customer?
I actually texted, and he didn't know what was happening, but I said, "Hey, if someone's being really creepy, can I hang up?" And he's like, "Nope, can't." And I was,
oh no,
after the fact, I told him, and he's like, "Oh my God, what?"
See, you didn't specify. If you say creepy, I understand the boss is probably going to say no. You know, some people. If you say the guy's actively masturbating while I'm talking to him, I bet you he's. You know what? Yeah, go ahead and hang up.
I just needed to be clear, I guess.
You need to be exceptionally clear.
Yes.
Be very clear with
that
us.
part?
What's that?
I transferred him to a local store of a boss who did me really dirty, so really it ended up okay.
Oh, good.
Oh,
All right.
wow.
Okay.
You got a new loyal client for life.
Comes around, goes around.
That is an odd one.
In radio, we used to get some weird calls, but normally it was when you're by yourself,
Deborah.
you're starting out, and it's overnight, it's late at night.
Yep.
Now, Robin, your situation is probably completely different. You being a female on the air, and most of the time, when you're on the air and you're a guy, you wouldn't think that people would call up and have any reason to find you to be sexual or anything like that.
I had Deborah.
You'd be very shocked at the calls you get. We're like, oh man, like I don't want to be not polite to this person because obviously they're not the most stable individual, and obviously they have some imbalances going on. I'm trying to be polite, but man, oh man, oh man,
I used to have a woman named
test your patience.
This woman Deborah would call me every night when I worked overnights on his soft AC station, right? But she would masturbate openly, right? Ah, yeah. She talked like this. I love your voice.
She probably had like a cigarette extender.
Oh, yeah. So every time she would start getting herself out, I was like, hey, Deborah, I need to hang on a second. I go on here. You're listening to WLIF. Baltimore's easy listening, blah, blah, blah. All right, Deborah, you're back. Ah, yeah. I don't know, man. It brought me humor, and it was every night.
And it's 4:20
Yep.
in the morning, and you got to be there for like
no one else
like
to talk to.
6:30. It sucks. When did you realize that you are dealing with a creepy individual? 844-999-OLA. Hold the line, where your call's coming up. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
Hola, bitches. You're listening to the Men's Room.
Still to come, the exciting return of Ted versus the FCC, and we've got the bad jokes on the way as well. Our question today, when did you realize that you were dealing with a creepy individual? 844-999-OLA. This is a crazy story out of Washington, D.C., and this comes our way from the Washington Post, and it was written by Peter Herman. He announced it was his birthday and that he was from London, drinking at the bar at the Willard Intercontinental Hotel. He was overheard plotting, perhaps in a boozy swagger, to jump the White House fence. At the Old Ebbitt Grill, the manager said the man with the crew cut blended in like a regular kind of guy and made quick friends, ordering rounds at a bar once patronized by presidents. And at the Ritz-Carlton, police say he topped a dinner of grilled octopus and a rack of lamb with a 156 bottle of Cabernet Sauvignon and a $1,200 shot of a rare 34-year-old single malt Irish whiskey kept under combination lock in the restaurant's vault.
How good do you think that shot is?
It's probably pretty smooth. Police and the bartenders at some of Washington's swankiest hotels, which attract a clientele of scribes, lobbyists, and people from around the world, say that for at least 2 recent weeks, the man with a British accent has come in, he orders the most expensive side of the menu, then he skips out without paying the bill. Though police said he did once try to bill the room of a professional NBA basketball player.
in my life, in my younger life, you try to do the dine and dash. Never successful, by the way. Mm-hmm. The best place we ever did it was like Denny's.
Yeah.
Not at Ritz-Carlton.
Police have arrested the suspect, Nicholas James Cooper, 3 times, yet he has routinely been released pending his next court date. He is 21 years old, and a motive remains unclear, although the guy really likes expensive food and expensive drinks. It was amusing watching him drink expensive drink after expensive drink over the period of a couple of hours. This according to a man who was sitting next to him at the Ritz-Carlton. He appeared knowledgeable. He went over to the woman, but the women that were talking to him beside him seemed mortified. They were obviously trying to have a pleasant conversation between them, and he kept insisting on talking to them and taking photographs. Police are looking into the possibility that the man Swanson and Bishop saw, who later absconded without paying his bill, could be Cooper. He has not been charged in that incident, although this keeps happening with a young man with a crew cut who is 21 years old with a British accent. Part of the deal is that he is signing as someone who's staying at the hotel.
Right.
And as you know, if you're at the hotel bar and the bartender says, "Sir, are you staying with us here?" And you say, "Yes,
Sure.
I am." Because if you are, you are. And they say, "Well, what room?" And you say, "I'm in room 223 or whatever the deal is. And sometimes they don't even ask you for a room number until you sign the check at the very end.
Yep.
Then you put the room number down. That goes on the bill. So he's been hitting it that way as well. But the one thing they say about this guy is that he is a pretty creepy individual. Although there are times when he has been arrested, it gets a little bit more detrimental. Apparently, the guy basically has told cops a couple times just to shoot him and some other things that kind of go off the rails. But he is.
But nobody cares because he keeps saying, "Hey, just shoot me," which is a sign of mental imbalance, right? Mm-hmm. And they put him in jail for a night, and they always release him. So it just seems to me if you truly thought the guy was a danger to himself because he keeps saying, "Shoot me," you would not just release him every time that he's been arrested.
Mm-hmm. Cooper first attracted the attention of authorities when police officers responded to a report of 2 thefts from the Willard, where authorities said the man signed his $68 bar bill with a fake name and a hotel room, and then the Old Ebbitt Grill, where they say he tried to pay with $67 with a closed credit card. One of the Old Ebbitt managers described the man as relatively friendly, somewhat odd, a little bit creepy, but he offered to buy drinks for everyone at the bar. There wasn't any red flags, at least from the beginning. Cooper was arrested and charged with 2 counts of theft. He was released pending his April court date. He told the arresting officers, "I have nothing." Then police said Cooper showed up at the Ritz-Carlton in the West End, where a report says he rang up a $2,200 bar bill, which included a $1,200 shot from a limited edition bottle from the Teeling Whiskey Company. Police said in an affidavit that Cooper charged the $2,220 bill to the room of Trey Lyles, forward for the Denver Nuggets, who just hours earlier had beaten the Washington Wizards at Capital One Arena. Our question, when did you realize that you were dealing with a creepy individual? 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Ashley. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Big fan, guys. So I was on a Tinder date last night, and the guy told me he just started a new job working with, truck drivers and such. Well, apparently one of the coworkers used to work with the Green River Killer.
Oh, Gary Ridgeway.
Yeah. So it was insane because they explained how the guy was super creepy just working there, like sitting at the lunch table by himself and eating alone and not really conversing with anybody that he worked with, And then he would also, I guess, trophies from, the women that he was killing, leaving them in the bathroom or leaving them in lockers and and then women would find them and he'd just be sitting there at the lunch table just watching.
Jeez, man.
Apparently the company was like, "Hey, we think this might actually be the guy that everybody's looking for, he's super weird, sitting by himself all the damn time, so."
Yeah, no, we've had a couple of listeners who regularly ran into or knew him or worked with him or whatever the deal was.
I think we have someone on the line who, I'm looking at this now.
And all of them say the exact same thing. Yes, it was Gary. Everyone knew. It was no secret.
Hello, Nita. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So, my story is actually about Gary Ridgeway also.
Oh, good times.
There it is.
Everybody knows Gary. Gary's probably sitting in jail listening to the show right now I'm still famous.
I still got it.
People still know me.
When I was a teenager, I had lunch with the guy. I had no clue who he was.
Wait a minute. What was the circumstance that you're eating lunch with Gary Ridgeway?
Well, as a teenager, I was really nerdy. I went to go play Vampire the Masquerade in Seattle. And before a group of us would go and get a bite to eat, and then this guy appeared next to us and was like, hey, can I sit down and eat with you guys? Like, sure, no problem. Go ahead. And all my friends kind of just abandoned me, and it was me and him.
So did they abandon you because they thought he was creepy, or they just moved on to go do their own thing?
They just moved on to do their own thing at the same time.
And how long were you having lunch with Gary Ridgeway? About
45 minutes. And then I was just like, nope, I'm done.
What do you guys talk about for 45 minutes? Just you and him at a table. Obviously, you don't know who he's going to be in the future, but I mean, what does he talk about with teenage kids?
He was talking about why was I in the area, and I told him about the role-playing Vampire the Masquerade.
That should have been a red flag like there. No one just goes like, excuse me, why are you in the area?
Especially like if you're at a mall.
Right, exactly. Like, what brings you here? Not, why are you in the area of my stalking abilities?
Do your parents know you're here?
Exactly. You've entered my zone.
Right. Jeez. So I'm guessing that like obviously you don't know who it is, but like when they bust him and say, all right, this dude is the Green River Killer, and you see his face either online or on, like, were you instantly like, holy crap, I had lunch with that dude?
I went and threw up.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Wow, man. That's
okay.
Did you? So, but were you surprised at all?
Not one bit.
Wow. Okay.
He had a creep factor of 10.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, your kid
even
agrees.
The kid's like,
yeah, Mama, you tell him. You tell those guys.
That dude was crazy.
Speaking of a creep, I'm not going to get into the story too much, but they found this illegal, quote, fairy tale tree house in...
not a fairy tale.
In, I guess, a remote area of King County. 8 feet off the ground, they arrested a 56-year-old guy. I think it was painted purple. It looked like a dollhouse.
Yeah, it was to lure kids there.
It really was. I mean...
Specifically, like, he designed and painted this thing to lure kids. They cut through the woods. They see this thing that looks like something out of a Trolls movie. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It looks like it's like a Tide Pod.
You look at it and it just gives you a chill. You're like, Jesus Christ.
It gives us chills.
Right. When did you realize you were dealing with a creepy individual? 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Juan. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bicholas. What are you guys doing?
Hola. What's happening, Juan?
Not much. Here enjoying the day at the park with my kid.
Okay.
Hey, no... When he was little, we were over there at the park in Tucson, and my wife's the one that noticed this guy. She asked me, you know that guy right there? I said, no, why? She said, 'cause she keeps looking at us. I said, no, well, let me see. So, yeah, you could tell right away, he was, So I grabbed my kid. He was only about 2 years old, not even 2. And I hold him in my arms, and I told my wife, you stay right by me. So we start walking, and he starts following us. So I give my kid to my wife, go to confront this guy, and he takes off. He sees me. He takes off, and there was a bunch. It was a real nice day. There was a bunch of people there, little, groups of little girls, about 8 to 13-year-old girls, and I see him lurking around their little area around them. So I tell my wife, hey, grab your phone. Act like you're going to take a picture of me, but make sure this dude's in the background.
I've done that before.
Only
it was a chick's ass in Puerto Rico.
Not for that reason. Not for that reason.
It was a woman's ass in Puerto Rico.
This fool knew what we were doing because he saw my wife and, when my wife pulled out the phone, I went and stood like kind of where she can get him in the background. This fool started walking away, so I asked my wife, want me to call the cops? She said, yeah. So I call the cops. And I tell them, hey, I'm giving them a description, and they start questioning me. What are you doing there? Motherfuckers, I'm here with my son. First they complain because people don't call and how about? And then they're questioning. I was like, oh, hell no.
Now Juan's going to be in Arizona jail. Jesus. That's the last place you want to be, isn't it?
I would think.
In jail in Arizona.
For Juan.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, look.
Juan, I can't believe you just didn't go up and beat his ass.
You're a big dude.
My family was with me. I would have.
I believe you.
I do too. How tall are you, Juan? Are you like 6'5"?
Nah.
I'm 6'2.5".
Okay, all right. Yeah, I know you're a bigger guy, but I just figured you were going to
But
walk up.
I mean...
So they didn't even try to arrest the guy or talk to the guy? They just wanted to talk to you?
I told him, I started following him, and I had the operator was with me on the phone. I said, he's taking off. He's right by here by the entrance to the zoo. I said, he's wearing this and that. I said, you guys got to get a cop here. Well, can they come and talk to you? I said, why do you want to talk to me? I'm telling you who he is. You know, go confront him. I'm giving you a description of what he's wearing and everything. I gave her height, weight, everything.
You know, Juan, they heard your accent and they wanted to deport you. You know what I mean? You said you're in Arizona. I further like, we got one. Look, we got one on the phone.
All right, guys, you guys have a good one, man.
Hey, right on, man.
Good talking to you, man. When did you realize you were dealing with a creepy individual? 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Aaron. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, how's it going?
Hola! What is you on there?
First off, I wanted to say, I'm a panty sniffer too. It's not the weirdest thing that could be done.
So
we didn't say it's the weirdest thing. We said it is itself weird.
This is like the pterodactyl porn. I'm learning something really new that I did not know that this was a thing. But that's what.
But you know it's a thing.
I do know it's a thing.
It's a money-making opportunity.
I know there's a lot of things out there, but I'm not privy to them, and I just don't think of them as like maybe one or two people do it, not a bigger group than that.
The only difference today is that people are openly, which we appreciate.
Yeah.
To say, like, hey, man, this is what I dig to do. You go, all right, man. But are you grabbing other people's, or do you have a significant other?
It's like, I'm single at the time, but it's like, I'm not stealing people's panties. That's just too freaking weird. But it's like the girls that I've had one-night stands with or I've dated and stuff. Every time I have sex with a girl for the first time, I got to keep their panties. I'm a trophy collector.
So wait a minute. That's not weird.
That's the little weird.
Stealing them is weird to you.
Now wait a minute.
But keeping them is not weird. Your action is not criminal, but it is equally as weird.
It's weird. Do you ask them or do you steal them?
No. I even told them, like, before we freaking get it on, you got to know I'm keeping these. I got to have my souvenir.
And they're still in the mood after you say that. Like, you say this, and they're still like, yeah, let's do that.
That's making me hot. Because I can't see. I think that'd be like, I'm out.
Yeah, I know.
I'm out.
She's topless, and I'm naked, and I'm about to pull her panties off. I really don't think she's going to say no. She's ready for it.
At that point, okay. All right.
It's timing.
How many do you have in your collection? Which is very disturbing, by the way.
Now I got 17.
17. And do you wash these after you get them, or do they still just reek of whatever she reeked of?
One, and that's because it smelled really badly of fish.
Oh, God.
Okay.
All right.
I wouldn't see that coming.
No, I didn't either.
Is it just us? Are we prudes? Are we prudes, Miles? Is that what our problem is?
I just do not have...
Are we not woke? Are we not sexually woke?
I really do not think this is
our
a thing.
deficiency? I know it's a thing. I just... Look, put it this way. Like, if you have a sex doll, I don't care. If you like soiled panties, I don't care. It's just normally people aren't so open about it. You know what I mean? Like, whatever your freaky thing is. Like, look, I will tell you, sure, I surf porn on the computer. I enjoy surfing porn. If you say, what categories are you hitting? At that point, I say, mind your business. Like, don't you worry about it.
We had a story earlier, if you're just joining the program, of a Long Island judge who police say repeatedly broke into his neighbor's home to steal underwear, and he's confessed to doing it, but he's pleaded not guilty. And so we started talking about this, saying, like, all right, we don't think the guy is a violent guy. Obviously, he's a judge, and he's breaking the law. He could go to jail for 15 years.
He won't, but
we were saying that this is more common than not, apparently, because if you look at Japan...
Well, the love of the soiled panty is more common than either of us are comfortable believing is the case, but it's just a difference, but not as a criminal thing.
But there's nothing else that people love that's not washed. Like when you get in your, when like clean sheet a day happens.
It's a great feeling.
It's really a great feeling. Like that's the better end.
But then there's someone out there who's like, dude, I love like getting in my bed after I haven't washed the sheets for 3 months. Yeah. And it has that, like there's someone out there that likes it.
Do they like that? Okay.
There's somebody.
When did you realize that you were dealing with a creepy individual? 844-999-OLA.
Hello. Linda, welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
I have a story for you. When I was about 18 and a half, I was working in downtown Renton, and I lived in Kent. And I used the bus to get back and forth to work. So I got off the bus coming home from work. I don't remember what day it was, but downtown Kent. And I only lived 2 blocks away, so I started walking home. And this guy with a Volkswagen rolls his window down, comes up to me, and he's got this, hat on. And he says, would I like a ride home? And I looked at him, and he just scared me to death. And, of course, I'd heard about all the girls at Lake Sammamish being murdered. And I just politely told him.
Of course, it's just such a Northwest thing.
It's just something that
mass
happens.
serial killers. Just what area and what's their nickname?
This was Ted Bundy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
that's a good
geez.
one. That's a good one. People have heard of him.
It was Ted Bundy. I recognized him, and I said, no, thank you. My home's right up there, and I pointed up and said, I don't need a ride. And I just got out of there as fast as I could.
Okay, well, let me ask you this, and we asked the woman who inadvertently had lunch with Gary Ridgeway. So you find out years later, months later, whatever it is, they say, hey, we caught this guy, it's Ted Bundy. So you see this guy's face. You recognize him trying to pick you up. What is your reaction to seeing that?
Oh, just creepo. Just hairs standing on my neck.
I think Ride the
You
Duck.
have a hairy neck?
I think Ride the Ducks needs one of these tours. You know
That's
what I'm
what
saying?
I heard.
I'm a little older.
I mean, if you have Ride the Ducks, you can actually get on the Green River. And I don't know if you've been on the Green River before, but it's actually a beautiful river. Like the first time I saw the Green
And
River,
that's
I was
such
like,
a bad reputation.
I know there was like bald eagles flying around. It was freaking amazing. I was like, this is a beautiful. You think it's such a negative connotation when you hear Green River because of obviously what happened. Then you get there and you look at it and it's so serene and beautiful. You're like, oh my god, like
great place to dump bodies,
exactly
Miles.
not what I was
Come
expecting.
on, man.
Like the Pine Barrens in New Jersey is not lovely, but not as nice as the Green River. When did you realize that you were dealing with a creepy individual? 844-999-OLA. Hold the line, more of your calls coming up. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Still a calm, exciting return of Ted versus the FCC, and bad jokes on the way as well, right before we drink and toast with a shot of the day. Our question today, when did you realize that you were dealing with a creepy individual? 844-999-OLA.
Oh, we have some comments rolling in. It says, regarding the underwear thing, my girlfriend used to work at an espresso stand, and on multiple occasions, she had offers to buy the panties she was wearing at the time. I'd been like, don't mind if I do. Here you go.
This, man, I'm telling you, I really, wow. Okay. All right.
I continue.
Yeah.
I have a good friend of mine who actually went out on a double date with Ted Bundy. She went to high school with the guy. A little weird. I worked at the same facility as the guy from Everett, Washington, that the FBI arrested the other day for sending the suspicious packages. Super weird tinfoil hat kind of guy. Kept saying the government was watching him. Had some weird cryptic messages on the back of his window of his car and masking tape.
Yeah.
Here's my thing. If he honestly thought the government was watching him, then why would you send packages? They would have known it's you, right? Come on, man. Think it through, brother. Think it through.
He wasn't all there.
And then this one, entertaining story. Hola. There was a day when I was dating an older woman. I was 21. She was 30. She'd take care of lunches and dinners and sometimes breakfast. She loved wine, cheese, and sex. She loved that I had a patch of hair on my lower back. I found that to be strange, but okay. She basically asked me to move in after a week of staying over there the entire week. I really didn't have a problem with it because she was a pharmacy manager and made hella bank, a.k.a. Sugar Mama. The first night after I agreed to move in, we were doing the dirty, and she asked me to tie her up. Okay, why not? Then she asked me to reach into the top drawer where she kept her toys, and I pull out a small black bag and open it. I open it, and to my surprise, there are some alcohol wipes and some razors, bandages, and what have you. I asked what it was for, and she replied, quote, I like being cut while having sex. I did my best.
Oh, God.
I put the bag back and said, I can't do that. She hasn't tried to contact me since. Cutting while having sex is where I draw the line. That's just creepy as
Jesus.
That from Miguel.
Miguel.
Man, oh, man.
What is going on out there?
That was a zinger.
What is going on out there?
I'm telling we're prudes, Miles.
I'm telling you what.
We ain't sexually woke.
I don't know what is going on.
I want to be sexually woke.
How have I missed all of this?
I want to sniff panties and get all cut up.
I really do, man. I feel like I left the party and then all the fun started.
I will say this. I feel a lot better about my porn history.
Golly.
Like, oh, dude, I'm all right.
I'm just, seriously.
I'm cool.
When did you realize that you were dealing with a creepy individual, like good-looking people? Mm-hmm. That's what you're guilty of.
Hello.
844-999-OLA.
Hello, Griffin. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola.
Happy Friday.
Yeah.
Hey, so my grandpa, and he's not, let me start by saying he's not my actual grandpa. My grandma got remarried like 6 times, but he's the most current one. When I was little, was always that kind of guy, super into Jesus. He'd grab you by the shoulders and drag you in real close to his face and, tell you that you're going to hell if you don't do this or that, and his breath smelled like a bag of hot garbage and you just wanted to run away as fast as you can.
All right.
He sounds lovely. I can see why your grandmother's with him.
just a great individual all around. But I didn't realize that he was as creepy as he was until he started. I started to get around 13, 14 years old. He started asking me, are you living in sexual sin? Are you staying absent? And that was weird in and of itself, but I kind of understood because he was real into Jesus, and my whole family is. And then he started asking the questions like, what are you, I told him flat out one time that, nope, I'm a 15-year-old boy. I'm, exploring myself. Whatever.
I'm trying not to be abstinent, but as it works out, I am abstinent.
Trust me, I want to be with a girl.
15, yeah.
Right, it just haven't happened for me yet.
I'm not abstinent by choice, but yes, I'm practicing abstinence every single freaking day.
I am working on this.
Yeah.
Exactly. Anyways, it got to the point where he started to want to know what was happening in my life specifically. Come on, man, I know there's been a sexual situation that you've been involved in. Tell me about it. Tell me he wanted details about my sexual endeavors as a young boy.
Is there such thing as a reverse erection?
Did you have?
Did your penis just run away at that point?
And did you even have any of these stories at that age?
No, not really.
I wouldn't have. That's what I mean. Like I wouldn't.
I have nothing to tell you.
It's horrifying.
What do you want me to do? Make something up? Like what am I talking to my friends, bragging about that girl I met at the beach?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. That never happened.
So it gets better. So when I turned, I think this is Christmas. About when I was 17 years old, he
Merry
gets a
Christmas.
brand new. I think this is a Hyundai Genesis or something like that, 3.8, nice car. And he says, "Hey man, you want to go out in a spin in it?" And he says, "You can drive." And I said, "Oh, dude, I want to drive that. Heck yeah. I know you're creepy, but I want to drive your car." Anyways, I got in the car and we go for a drive. We're driving around, and by this point, I'm 17 years old, and I do have the stories. And this guy starts grilling, starts asking me all the questions you could possibly imagine. Like, what are you into? What kind of stuff do you like? What kind of girls are you into? What kind of, could you possibly be into a guy? Could you possibly be into an older guy?
Now we're getting hot. Now we're getting hot.
So I'm not going to use any names because my whole family doesn't have any idea and would be devastated. But I hope you're not listening, Dad.
You think Grandpa was...
I hope you're not listening, Dad.
You think Grandpa
That's the perfect time. If he is.
Yeah.
Like, what? Oh, dude.
Yeah.
That's, is Grandpa still around?
He is.
And I guess you're a little bit more cautious around Grandpa?
I don't go to Christmas parties anymore.
Yeah, I just wouldn't want to have those conversations. Like, I'm avoiding it.
So wrong.
Yeah, on so many God. When did you realize that you were dealing with a creepy individual? 844-999-OLA.
That ain't right, man.
Oh.
And the dude waited years. That's what makes it even creepier to me. Like, years have gone by and he's still like, what do you think about older men that you're not blood related to?
Uh-oh. Still to come, the return of Ted versus the FCC. We've got another round of profile of this on the way. And get those bad jokes ready to go as well. 844-999-OLA.
Hola! The shenanigans continue on the Men's Room Radio Network.